Hi everyone, welcome to Storytime. I'm so glad you guys are listening from your houses, and here I am in my house. Ooh, it has been hot, hasn't it? And if you are playing the summer game, our code for the summer game 2020 for today is Jump in a Lake. You can also see that down below in the description. It's written out for you. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, that's okay. If it's summer right now, 2020, you can go to aadl.org/play and find out all about it then. All right, did you guys bring your hands? I've got mine. Let's get our rhythm going. Boing, boing, squeak. Boing, boing, squeak. There's a story in my house. It's been about a week. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's been. I don't know. Where did it go? I want to hear it again. I look to my left. I look to my right. I look all around. It's still out of sight. I look on the ground and over my head. Shh! There's something in my bed. Let's see what it is today. It's a tail and a whale with a horn. Yes, hello. Well, hello. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but what kind of animal are you? Oh, that's okay. I'm called a narwhal. Some people call me the unicorn of the sea because I have a horn, see? Oh, you do? That's very nice. Wow. Have you guys ever heard of a narwhal before? They're a real animal. Yeah, that's right. We are real. Real as I am right here. Yeah, and they have these horns. And did you know that this horn is actually a tooth? Yeah, that's right. I have one long tooth. Can you imagine what it's like when I go to the dentist? No, I can't. Is it? Well, I always get a sticker, so it's fun. Oh, well, that's good. It's nice to get a sticker at the dentist. Yeah, and I have to brush my tooth very carefully. Oh, I bet it's very long, isn't it? Yes, long and strong. But it's too hot for me here because I live in where it's very cold usually. Oh, well, it would be hot for you. Well, so what are we doing stories about today? We're doing stories all about water, like the ocean where I live, but also ponds and a river and a bay, all kinds of good things. Oh, well, that sounds nice. It would be a good day to get outside and go in a nice, cool piece of water. So I guess we'll do all water stories today. Well, thank you so much, Narwhal, for coming and saying hi. Oh, you're welcome. You have a good one. I'll give you a little boop. Oh, thank you. All right, off you swim. All right. Well, like our friend Narwhal said, we're going to do stories all about the water. So our first story comes from a book. Now, I don't have the book with me, but it is by Leo Leone, and it's called An Extraordinary Egg, and it's one of my favorite stories. I'm going to tell it using felts that our friend Elizabeth made. Well, once upon a time, there was a place called Pebble Island. And on Pebble Island, there lived 3 frogs. There was Marilyn and August, and then there was one who was always somewhere else. Now, the one who was always somewhere else, her name was Jessica, and she was full of wonder. She would go on long walks all the way to the other end of Pebble Island. She would walk back and forth and she would look at everything. She would look at the ground and at all the little things growing. She would look at the sky, at the different shaped clouds. She would look in the water, at all of the rivers. And no matter what she saw, no matter how ordinary it might seem, she always would say, "Wow, isn't it extraordinary?" But her friends, Marilyn and August, they were rarely as impressed as she was with what she found. Well, one day, she was out exploring one of her favorite places on Pebble Island. a place where there was a lovely, lovely mound of stones, when all of a sudden she saw from in that mound one stone that was not like the others. It was as white as snow, and it was beautiful. She picked it up and she took it back to show the others. "Look what I found," she shouted, "a huge pebble." That is not a pebble," said Marilyn, who knew everything about everything. "Well, then what is it?" said Jessica. "It's an egg, a chicken egg." "Wow," said Jessica. "How do you know it's a chicken egg?" Marilyn said, "There are just some things you know." Well, pretty soon, the egg started to make little noises, and it started to move just a little bit. And then the frogs watched in amazement as all of a sudden it cracked open, and out crawled a long, scaly creature that walked on 4 legs. "See?" said Marilyn. "I was right. It is a chicken." "A chicken!" they all shouted. Well, the chicken took a deep breath and looked at each of them and said in a raspy voice, "Where is the water?" "It's straight ahead," said all of the frogs excitedly. Now, does this look like a chicken to you? I don't think so. But they thought it was, so they called it chicken. Well, the chicken went over to where the water was and dove in and swam about until she felt much better. She was a good swimmer, and she showed all of the frogs how to dive and swim and have so much fun splashing in the water. Oh, they had a wonderful time, and they played from sunup to sundown. And so it went for a long time. Now, one time, when Marilyn and August were on a little patch of land, they didn't know where Jessica was, and suddenly they heard a great splashing and commotion. All of a sudden, the chicken was pulling, until she pulled Jessica up out of the water. "Oh," said Jessica, "thank you. I got stuck looking for some bugs, and I got all tangled up in the weeds. Oh, I couldn't get out. Thank you so much, Chicken." Chicken said, "You're welcome." And from then on, Chicken and Jessica were best friends. They did everything together. They went to a quiet place where Jessica liked to sit and think. They went to the pond. They went everywhere on Pebble Island, and you never saw one without the other. Until one day, a little bird came flying down and said to Chicken, "There you are. Your mother has been looking everywhere for you." "Oh," said Chicken, "is she here now?" And soon the mother came swimming up. Well, Chicken climbed on top of his mother's head, whoop, and off they swam. "I'll never forget you," he said. "Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye." Well, Jessica was a little bit sad, but she was so happy that her friend had gone on. There was something that was strange. Right when her friend had left with his mother had said, "Oh, my sweet little alligator, I love you." When Jessica got home to her friends and she told Marilyn and August about what had happened, she said, "Yes, and the strange thing was that Chicken's mama said, 'My sweet little alligator.' Isn't that a funny thing to say?" "Ha!" said Marilyn. "What a silly thing to say. Oh my goodness, alligator. What a name for a chicken." And the 3 friends couldn't stop laughing. The end. All right, good listening. Well, this one is a little bit of a song, and I bet that some of you guys know it. It's called "Down by the Bay." Down by the bay, where the watermelon grow, back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, "Did you ever see a whale with a polka dot tail?" "What?" Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelon grow. Back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a fly wearing a tie? Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelon grow. Back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a cat wearing a top hat? Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelon grow. Back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a moose sipping some juice? Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelon grow. Back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever have a time that you couldn't find a rhyme? Down by the bay. Good job. That's a fun one. You can make up all kinds of silly things to say if you want to sing that one on your own. All right, let's get our fingers out. I have 10 fingers. They all belong to me. I can make them do stuff. Want to see? I can make them jump high. I can make them jump low. I can fold them quietly and sit just so. I can squeeze them tight. I can open them wide. I can fold them all together. I can make them all hide. I can make them jump high. I can make them jump low. I can fold them all together and sit just so. All right, our next book is this one. It's called Bear Came Along. And this book was a Caldecott Honor this year, which is for one of the best children's books illustrations this year. This is by Richard Morris and illustrated by Luen Pham. Once there was a river that flowed night and day, but it didn't know it was a river until Bear came along. Bear was just being curious. When he realized what the river could do. Whoop! But he didn't know he was on an adventure until Froggy hopped on. Froggy was a lonely froggy who was looking for a friend, but she didn't know how many she had. Until the turtles showed up. The turtles tried to warn them about the things that could go wrong, but they didn't know how to enjoy the ride. Until Beaver climbed aboard. Beaver was born to captain. He knew exactly where to go, but he didn't know about the detours until the raccoons dropped in. Whoosh. The raccoons were so excited about the twists and turns ahead, but they didn't know they had to be careful until they crashed into Duck. Ah! Duck was so content being right where she was, she didn't know there was a world to see. Until... What do you think's gonna happen? Oh, look, they've come down here. Whoosh! Looks like a waterfall. Whoa! Bear held on to Froggy. Froggy held on to Turtles. Turtles held on to Beaver. Beaver held on to Raccoons. Raccoons held on to Duck. Oh, what a ride! Splash! So many different animals living their separate lives, but they didn't know they were in it together until the river came along. And I think that looks so nice. The end. Well, and in case you didn't know, we have a beautiful river in Ann Arbor. Does anybody know what it's called? Yeah, it's called the Huron River. And it's lovely, and you can go walk on it and look at everything. And sometimes you get to see animals that live there. I've seen ducks that live there, and turtles, and lots of geese. And the other day I even saw a muskrat, which I was very excited about because I'd never seen one before. And I was so happy to see one. They're little furry animals, and they're so cute. And sometimes there's a family of muskrats that lives behind our own Pittsfield branch, but I've never gotten to see them. But I did get to see this one by the river, so it's a fun place to go explore. All right, well, let's see. Do you guys want to let's do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Ready? Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, and your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. All right, now let's do it really slow, like we're going through Jello. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, and your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, Okay, now let's do it really fast. Ready? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, Head, shoulders, knees and toes, and your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, Woo! Do you guys think you could do it even faster? I don't know. That would be pretty fast. Let's try. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, Head and shoulders, knees and toes, and your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, Whoa! Oh my goodness. That was tough. Look, that was so tough my mouse fell down. Ah. Well, good job. Why don't you guys go ahead, give yourselves a round of applause. And if you were standing up, you can sit back down. Or you can stay standing up if you'd like to listen to our last story that way. Our last story comes from a book called Shark in the Park by Nick Sherratt. That's this one. Well, there's a part of this that you can do with me, and it goes like this. Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked at the sky, he looked at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Can you guys do that with me? Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked at the sky, he looked at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! There's a shark in the park! A shark in the park! Don't stay till dark! There's a shark in the park! A shark? Oh, fancy that! It's just a little black cat. Meow. Whew. Well, Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked at the sky, he looked at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! There's a shark in the park! A shark in the park! Don't stay till dark! There's a shark in the park! A shark? Oh, don't you know? It's just a little crow. Caw, caw! Aw. Well, Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked up at the sky, he looked down at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! There's a shark in the park! A shark in the park! Don't stay till dark! There's a shark in the park! Oh. See now, don't you cry. It's just a friendly butterfly. Well, Timothy Pope Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked up at the sky, he looked down at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! There's a shark in the park, there's a shark in the park, don't stay till dark, there's a shark in the park. Oh, now, I think you'll change your tune when you see it's just a friendly raccoon. Well, Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked up at the sky, he looked down at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! Ah! Don't stay till dark, there's a shark in the park, there's a shark in the park, don't stay till dark, there's a shark in the park. A shark? Oh, don't throw in the towel. It's just a great horned owl. Whew. Well, Timothy Pope was looking through his telescope. He looked up at the sky, he looked down at the ground, he looked all around, and this is what he saw. Ah! There's a shark in the park, there's a shark in the park, don't stay till dark, there's a shark in the park. A shark? No, it's not, and aren't you glad? It's just Timothy's dad. Whew! Timothy Pope put away his telescope. Goodbye, park. I cannot stay. I guess there are no sharks today. The end. Good listening. All right. Well, it is so much fun telling stories for all of you, and we really miss seeing you in person, but we're glad that you're watching along from home. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can just click below and then you can see whatever it is you want. And also be sure to check out our new show, The Saturday Show, which happens every Saturday and is hosted by our great friend Toby, but you can see lots of us doing different stuff and talking about different fun stuff on The Saturday Show. And if you miss it on a Saturday, it's always there for you here on our YouTube channel. So now it is that time where everybody starts sitting down, and then when you hear the words knees up, it's time to jump up and dance. There was a robot from France who didn't know how to dance. The only thing that she could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Woo! Sit back down. Well, whoa. Froggy saw a whale who had a cool polka dot tail. The only other thing that he could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Sit back down. Robot would just like to say, thanks for coming to Storytime today. The only other thing that she can do is knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Beep, boop, beep, boop. Knees up, Mother Brown. Boop, beep, boop, beep. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Faster! Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Woo! Wiggle, wiggle fingers right up to the sky. Wiggle, wiggle fingers, wave them all goodbye. Thank you so much for listening to stories today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.